let's make sure that our listeners follow this now, because the statement we had, my understanding has been that officers killed in the line of duty, they are the ones to receive the $1 million compensation.
Yes.
And you're saying here that is a nice little weave in there, because in the case of an officer not in fact being on the job, being off the job and being killed, does the compensation package account for that, or you're now asking for that to be broadened?
We have asked from day one. We have made it clear to say that the fact is, as prison officers,
yes,
we believe that we are on duty all of the time.
That is your contention. What does the legislation say?
The fact is, the legislation speaks. Well, they don't have any legislation concerning that $1 million thus far. As far as I am aware.
What does the promise say?
The promise speak about while you're on duty.
While you're on duty.
And what we are saying is that there needs to be a definition that will encompass the fact that not we said it. There is the NSOF had a ceremony where they had officers inducted who were slain. And their document spoke specifically to the fact that all of these prison officers who were inducted were murdered as a direct result
of their
employment. So the fact of the matter is that we need to have that definitely clarified moving forward, because we don't want to reach a point where someone is going to say at some point in time, well, he wasn't on duty.
Well, until that is, just be very clear, until that is sorted out and the language of that promise is refined, it's not true to say that the government is not fulfilling the promise of the $1 million.
Well, there is no, at present,
yes,
as far as I'm knowledge, I could be wrong. I don't know if anybody will have that information, but as of today, based on what I think I know, there is no structure or authority or legislation that speaks to that $1 million being paid to the families of officers who are slain on duty, not only prison officers, across the board.
This is a word of mouth then. There is nothing.
Yeah, there is nothing.
I see. All right. I want to go back to that question of isolation. And as you said earlier, the Commission of Prisons can choose any place. And
the minister could,
the minister, I'm terribly sorry,
so designate.
Can so designate any place to be. Let us talk about what we have currently, which is Carrera. Okay? That's an option where you can have isolation set up for high-risk detainees, let's just say. Okay? My question is, the security there is already a problem.
The issue continues to be neglect. We have been asking in certain quarters to have the office of the Commissioner of Prison be made an accounting officer. As it is now, he's not an accounting officer. He still needs to seek permission to do certain things. He needs to seek the monies. He can't spend the money and then say, well, listen, and then justify. He has to justify and hope that his justification falls on willing ears, and then receive. He may not even receive all that he asked for. So the fact of the matter, when we look at places like, and it's not only Carrera, any prison, when we look at the monies that are allocated, some of our current stations did not receive an allocation in some years gone by. When you look at this, no money was allocated, and you have to ask yourself then, and this is why the association continues to say that it seems that there's some effort by somebody, some people, somehow, to undermine our ability to do our jobs. It has to be profiting somebody somewhere to continue to maintain this level of neglect.
I understand the level of neglect you're talking about, but are we scapegoating? Are we trying to get away from? I'm asking you the question. Yeah. The fact that your people are in charge down there of security, yes, yet people on an island are able to escape. I'm asking what.
Okay, let me put it this way: if I take you, Mr. Rennie Bishop, and place you in a place, any place, and I lock you up, and you decide that you want to escape, I am saying that the human mind will explore and attempt to utilize any weakness that they see in a system so that they can meet their demise. The fact of the matter is that in any prison, we need resources to be able to put the best measures in place, because Carrera, we would understand, is a very unique situation. It's an island. I know for a fact quotations were sent up concerning the fencing on the island. I know for a fact that information was found concerning having boys have that maritime demarcation, which could clearly show to mariners and other users of the sea that beyond this point, you're not allowed. What is happening with that? The fact of the matter is this. We take too long to do things, and then we say, these people and them not doing as they should. I think we are doing the best that we can with the resources that we have. I'm also going to say there are some officers we need to get rid of in our system. Because the fact of the matter is, when we operate in this environment, and I continue to say, there's this small group of officers who continue to undermine the good work that officers do. So we have a number of traffickers, and we have been pleading, we have been begging, we have been asking, listen, we are for summary dismissal of these people. If you are found attempting as a prison officer to bring into the prison cell phones, marijuana, we don't consider you could never be a prison officer.
You are the Prison Officers Association. You are saying if you have this situation, we want the cancer excised immediately. What is the objection you're hearing? Where is the objection coming to? I mean, this seems to be one of those very rare, straightforward cases.
Yeah, this is, they keep talking about, it's so difficult. All we need is for people to look at the current construct of the system, the Public Service Commission, and how we could change the legislation, the constitution, whatever, because we need to take this thing serious.
If somebody is found in the act of, with property on them found, and it's proven that they in fact doing things inimical to the service, I mean, what is there else to amend in the most smallest employ? That is self-explanatory.
Let me tell you what happens. What happens is that the person may be interdicted by the Public Service Commission. They'll be placed on suspension. If the matter is one where it's before the courts, when they were charged by the police, that matter goes to court, and we know how the court system works. So we have people who have been on suspension for 5, 6, 7, 8 years, and then they win the case by some miracle, and then we have to take them back. And what we are saying, the Trinidad and Tobago Prison Officers Association is saying, listen, we work in a life or death situation. Help us, the good, solid, dedicated, hard-working officers, and have these people removed from amongst our ranks, both junior and senior, whoever they may be. So once you are found, listen, we want summary dismissal. Whatever happened in your court case with the police, that have nothing to do with us. What we are saying is that this environment is a controlled one, and you are adding to chaos, and you are adding to a lot of stressors in the environment. If you are found, we need to send a clear message. If you are found attempting to bring into the prison marijuana, cell phones, and there are technological solutions to deal with cell phones, right? Because we could do jamming on one side, we could do tracking and monitoring on the other side. So,
matter of fact, it may be advantageous sometimes to let one cell phone inside of there. At least you see what they do.
So we need to have the support of the government.
Yes.
When we speak about solutions, I want to send this message to the government. We are not in the you see, the antagonistic. We sound like that because we are passionate about this issue. Our children and children's children are going to be prison officers someday. Somebody out there right now who is looking on their grandson, their granddaughter, their great-grand, somebody who is close to them is going to find themselves in that environment. Our passion is this: if we do not do all that is within our purview to do, to make the service, the Trinidad and Tobago prison service, the best that we can, we are not only failing the Trinidad and Tobago prison service, we are failing society as a whole. Because when you talk of being, we consider ourselves to be the last vestige. The police is involved in crime suppression. We are involved in crime reduction. And we need to understand that that role is not to be diminished. And we need to have an approach that is multi-pronged. So we need the ability to relocate. We need to partner with government to do certain developments where housing could be made available to get some of these people out from where they are. We need some of the security equipment. We need the monitoring. We need to have officers summarily dismissed. We need to have blanket scanning of all persons entering the prison service, police, amalgamated, servants, everybody.
Attorneys, everybody.
Everybody. Because at the end of the day, what do we want? And if we want to have the service produce and excel at building Trinidad and Tobago, because even that's basically what we are. The end result after the equal sign is to take these people that nobody wanted, create an environment where we could retool them mentally and academically to come back and once again contribute positively to Trinidad and Tobago.
You're speaking of an area that has been questioned a long time ago, whether in fact folks see the importance of rehabilitation. Because at the end of the day, if you don't see the importance of it, the fact is we are not throwing these people away to another country when they have served their time. They are coming back in the population, and we have to spend that time now. Gerald, as always, I got to take a quick break. As always, it's great having you here. I've got two other questions for you before we close down this morning. If you hold on with me, let me take care of some obligatories here, and we'll be back.